Biddy came through that earlier. I was sitting down here. What I'm doing is I'm looking at all these damn different rocks and stuff, looking for little fossils and stuff. Believe it or not, I spotted one from standing. I was standing right there at the top here on the gravel road, and looking down in here, and trying to find it real quick. This is one I found. Now I found that shortly after the first one I found. Give me a second. Where's it at? I believe this is it. I don't know if you can tell, but I saw this from up there, standing there, and you can see that there's something that was fossilized in there, which would be something of this nature. And I found that in this gravel, this rocky area here. It's a drainage. On the other side there, when it rains a lot, there's a swampy like land that collects water. It's kind of dry now, but when it rains a lot, it'll come through here and it'll flush this stuff out through here, goes out through there into the field and down that way. I've never crawled under here and explored over there or anything, because it's really not, it is private property, but I don't think anybody would say anything if I was over there walking around. If they did, I'd just explain myself. Found this too. This is a broken piece. That's a nice size one. That would have been. Of course, that's another something that's about like that. Then once again, that's the first thing I saw. That was the first thing I saw standing right here at the top on the gravel road, and I was looking down in here, and I saw it. I was like, man, let me crawl down. Let me get down there and see it. So what I've been doing is just happy. I gotta make my way back here in just a little bit. I'm gonna go back and eat. Stop. 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 I don't know why they want to chase certain vehicles, and she started running just like crazy. I kept her from. Girl, you're gonna have to stop that. She's taking after Chewy, and Chewy's a dumbass. Yeah, you're a dumbass, buddy. You're the one that, she don't chase nothing if he ain't around, really. But I kept her kind of from doing it. I wouldn't mind going off over in here and walking down through there, exploring. Could be something. I thought about it, because like right here, there's plenty of gap there that I could go under and get on the other side here, and just kind of wander around over there looking in the field. And I'd like to follow this rut on back to the wooded area. There's a good little wooded area back there. Just kind of trying to kill just not kill anything, but occupy my time productively today in a positive way. Whether that be making videos or doing a live stream or reading, or which I've done some reading this morning, some different studying. I need to do more when I get back. But yeah, so pretty day. I hope everybody's doing pretty good out there. And I'm just streaming through the YouTube app right now. I don't plan on being on here very long. I just kind of was sitting here and just thinking, trying to keep my mind occupied, and like the whole idea that being anemic now, low on iron, and then finding a discrepancy in the blood work that's hopefully not anything major. Hopefully it's not cancer or something, but if it is, hopefully we're getting the colonoscopy done and find it in time to treat anything that could be. I'm trying to think in the most positive light that I can, that no matter what the circumstance, when I finally get this going, which I got to wait till Thursday for the consultation. Oh, Biddy over there. You see her? She's running through the field. But let's see if I can get up here without falling down. Oh gosh. Gotta be careful. Oh, I've sat for a little while. This is where I was talking about on the other side here, that when it's rained a good bit and it ain't been dry for a while, there'll be water in there, and the different levels, right after a really good rain for a few days, you're going to have a good bit of water, like you can see all through there, but it drains up under here, through there, and then comes out on this side where I was sitting. I thought somebody might just want to see something, outside, some kind of different scenery, not just at the trailer, me just staring at the camera, talking about a little bit of nothing. At least I'm always talking about something, ain't I? It might not always be important, but sometimes it is. At least it's important to me, I guess. And doing things like this can help me just stay focused. Like whether I had anything in my brain about, whether I had any kind of consultation that I have to have, or whether I've got polyps that are bleeding or could be or could not be cancerous. If none of that was on my brain and then not being told to me to go get this done and all that, I'd still have things that were in my brain sometimes on certain days, and just trying to shut that thinking part down. Those are the moments that I'm trying to get to in my days. I've been talking about that for a few months now. That this is yeah, it's cool to be able to be out here and just, it's not that far, but so I've just been out here exploring, like I said, and I showed you, I don't know if you saw the few things that I found on the back there where I was sitting. But see, there's plenty to look through. If I had the right tools and stuff, like if I had some tools with me, I could dig some of that dirt up and just loosen it up and find some, sit down on the side of the road right here or something and kind of sort through until I found some different cool stuff. Let's see, here's some pretty little blue flowers. I enjoy being able to walk down old dirt roads and stuff still, like when I moved here about 6 years ago, I was surprised that there's quite a few dirt roads out here that are real active and fairly, like, frequently traveled down. Of course, this is where, if you go up this way, it goes up to the church. That's the church I do attend at times. Didn't go this past Sunday. David was sick. David's had COVID. Emil, it's good to see you there. As you can see, I'm enjoying, to the best of my ability, I'm just trying to enjoy the moment. Because especially any kind of, thinking health-wise, that I might have something in front of me that I might have to battle or get through and learn to live with, no matter what. I got to stay grounded. I got to stay in the moment. And, like everything that I talked about it in the video today, everything that's happened the past week with a lot of the violence stuff, people just dying in it needlessly. And that just happens. That's a part of life, isn't it? Things happen. That's definitely true. That's definitely true there. But like, sometimes some of the stupid stuff that I get to been out of shape over in a given day or frustrated with, whether it be technology, trying to figure out the laptop, trying to maybe do better with my videos and keep up with 2 channels or whatever the hell it is I'm having to do. When certain things pop up in the news and I see it, hold on, I can't read that one. No, I haven't found that vine yet. I was looking for it. I know specifically what to look for. I watched that video. It's a, what did they call it? Oh, hell. But it grows on the sides of trees, and it would have like 4 leaves in a pattern, like going up the tree. Like each node would have like 4 leaves on it, unless one's ripped off or something. And so far, I haven't seen anything. I've looked at, along my way on the side of the road, I've looked at all the different trees, trying to glance to see if I saw anything that looked similar to that. But like I said, I do have the pokeberry. I did make a tincture today of some pokeberry. I used apple cider. I saw a lady. I knew that you could make pokeberry tincture. There's something in the pokeberry root that's supposed to be good too. Now, of course, pokeberry does have a high toxicity of something. Is that a log? Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool out there. Okay. There's something around here every year when it's growing. It smells kind of like it almost smells like popcorn being popped in the microwave or something. And I never can figure out, I don't know what it is I'm smelling, but I've smelled that smell quite a few times over the years living here. Trying to share some of the beauty of the day with you guys. A bumblebee. Hey, little buddy, or a honeybee maybe. It's good to see bees, Bees are a sign of a good. Yeah, I guess you don't know. Pokeberry is something that grows around here. It's not really a tree, but it does grow pretty tall. Like I can show you, let me find it. It's some right around here that I just walked by some, I'm sure. I guarantee I just walked by some. Well, maybe I don't guarantee it, but I know there is some somewhere. It's always around. And I have picked it before and used it. Like I remember years ago, the first time I ever heard of someone using it medicinally, because like as Southerners, we like, have you ever heard of poke salad? It's just it's you pick the leaves. They say the best is to pick the leaves like when the plant's fairly young. I don't really know if that makes any difference, but usually in the beginning when poke salad, I learned today that it's not really poke salad, it's called salad. And the reason it's called that is because when the colonists moved over here. Oh, hold on. Hey, Falcone. And I hope I didn't bore you yesterday. I wasn't in I think I was in a weird place yesterday, so the stream I was trying to do just wasn't happening. It just wasn't, like, I could tell my energy was different. Oh, here's some pokes. Well, it's dried up already. Well, no. So if you see, I'll show you where it is. Now, that's pokeberry, poke salad. But if this plant was fresh and new and it had the leaves on it, you could take these. You take the poke salad, the poke leaves, and I remember growing up not liking it too much, but you know, I was a kid. It's a lot like maybe like a turnip green or like a collard greens type thing. So it grows wild all around here. But you pick the leaves, and some people will tell you to boil it 3 times. Boiling it's supposed to help reduce any kind of toxicity because it can, you know, some people can have a bad reaction to it or be allergic to it. And like from what I understand in the berry itself, it's not the berry so much that contains the toxic thing, it's the seeds. Because the lady today that was explaining, when she was making the tincture, she was like saying she uses 40 berries in a mason jar, and then she fills it halfway up with apple cider vinegar, and then she takes it and mushes the berries down, but you don't want to break up the seed really. Then she filters it out, catches it, and then adds raw honey. Oh, okay, Falcone. Cool. Well, like, I think, so what I was going to say about them berries is, so years ago I was in jail, and I remember this guy telling me about this old Native American woman that he was part Native American or something, and I guess, I don't know if it was someone related to him or what, but she was Native American, and she would take 1 or 2 berries a day. She would eat 1 or 2 of those berries a day, and it's supposed to be really good for rheumatoid arthritis. So the lady today on the video, like, I don't have to really show my face, but I just figured I would for a second, and then I'll flip it back around and we'll look at some more stuff. This is kind of fun. I like doing these kind of just on the spur of the moment, just deciding to go live while I'm outside, just moving around and trying to enjoy life. Man, it's nice out here today. It's good to see you, Falcone. Falcone. Anyway, fuck it. Falcone. So the lady, that was, like, I'd never seen it done this way with the pokeberries. I know you can pick the pokeberries, you can freeze them, you can just take 1 or 2 a day. There was another video I watched a couple years ago of a dude, and he said, you know, depending on your size, you might eat more than 1 or 2. Like that woman I'm talking about, the Native American that the guy was telling me about, she was probably a small woman, only needed 1 or 2 berries, but at one time a few years ago, I had picked a bunch of the berries, and I'd eat like up to 10 in a day, and I couldn't, like, it's one of those things where, of course, I don't think you find immediate results. It's going to be something that over time is going to gradually produce results. So the lady today talking about the tincture she made with the apple cider vinegar, like, once you get it made, if you got that size of a jar and you get it made, and then you sweeten it with what you want, like she suggested, you know, honey from your local area, which I don't have, and I don't really need honey because it's got, you know, it's sugar in it. But anyway, so I just made it with the apple cider vinegar, put a little lemon juice in it as well, and then messed up the berries, shook it up, and I've just made it like that and then added it to a drink at my house that was already flavored. So, and you don't use, I think she said she don't recommend any more than an ounce of the liquid. If you're new to it, you take like a half ounce. And I'm all over the place, guys, so I appreciate it. Hey, thanks, Falguni. I think a lot of us probably have even like a lot of people ask me all the time about Gray Cloud if I'm Native American when they meet me, and I'm like, I don't really think so. You can look at me and tell I'm pretty Anglo-Saxon, that my heritage goes back to, I know it goes to the English, and then probably somewhere further back, you probably might go over in the Nordic region or something where some Vikings and stuff lived. I'd say I wouldn't be surprised if my ancestry had some Viking blood in it. But anyway, so the point being is, when I found that video today, I found it cool because I've got a tall, there's one that's growing outside my trailer that's right up against the trailer, and it's as tall as me or taller, a pokeberry bush, and it's really tall. So it's got all these ripe berries that I can pick, and there's some that's not ripe yet, and make this stuff. So I made me a batch this morning. I haven't drank that whole cup or that whole jar of, well, I'm not drinking the whole jar, but what I made for myself to drink today, I still got some of that at the house in the fridge. But I'm wanting to get some more jars and probably make some more over the next few days. And she said it'll keep good for up to 6 months. You keep it refrigerated. So that'd be cool. Well, you look or you don't, but you're definitely an old soul, so it makes sense. Yeah, well, I mean, like the Gray Cloud, of course, I've studied a lot of Native American cultures, but I think, I guess you're referring to maybe like, I don't know if I have, but I'm just saying my size, and just, I would gather that if someone was to trace it, there's probably some blood that goes back, but ultimately all blood traces back to the same place. That's why I like the 4 lines from a Neurosis song. There's a band called Neurosis. If you can look up the song, well, the whole album is very good, very prophetic. It's called A Sun That Never Sets. The last 4 lines of the song on the album, and I have them tattooed on my arm, which is not very readable. But the blood that flows through me is not my own. The blood is from the past, not my own. The blood that leads my life is not my own. The blood is my strength. I'm not alone. And that resonated with me so hardcore back in the day, because that was like, when they made that album, it was a shift in their sound from being very sonically heavy and like mesmerizing in a certain way, to that album came out and it was way, way like a lot more mellower, but it was like very heavy in the feeling, the feeling itself that you got from listening to each song. And like when you start the album from the very beginning and you listen to the entirety of that entire album, A Sun That Never Sets, it's like for the longest, I could not listen to just 1 or 2 songs from it. I had to listen to the whole thing, and I would just repeat the album over and over and over. And then, at times later, I got to where that song, I would just listen to that song over, and I've done it numerous times throughout a couple of years I've lived here. Haven't listened to the song in a long time, but probably will now today. Probably have it on repeat today. But they took a new approach in just the way that everything their vocal approach was different too. It was way just more singing, actual singing, enunciating the words, being able to because they have always been a deep band spiritually. So Neurosis is the name. Anyway, got to meet them back in '96 on their Through Silver and Blood tour. Got to hang out with them backstage. We offered them LSD and they were like we had some acid and they were like smoking pot with us, and they had their beer and stuff in the big cooler behind in the backstage, and we're all like partying, smoking pot, and we're like tripping, and we're like, you want to trip with us, and they're like, no, we've done enough, like we don't need it anymore. Like they'd done enough experimentation psychedelically that they were like, and then also, even if they still really did trip, they probably weren't going to take something from just some random fan, because you never know, especially nowadays. Oh yeah, it's not. I never took it as actually. It is talking about the blood, but it's also talking metaphorically. I always took those 4 lines, well, the entire song, like the song starts off with, a sun that never sets burns on. New light is this river's dawn. Let's see, hold on, if I can remember all the words. When to speak of a word so old is to relearn what is known. Now, I don't know if that line comes right after that, but then it's a time to think back and move on. Rebuild the loves of lives long gone. And then it goes into, the blood that flows through me is not my own. The blood is from the past. It's not my own. The blood that leads my life is not my own. The blood is my strength. I'm not alone. And because they never, they had several albums prior to that were all very spiritually induced lyrics. Like Enemy of the Sun is phenomenal. God, it's another great. Now, of course, some of the words you can't understand and stuff. I remember, but the first 4, some of the lines in Enemy of the Sun, the song, where it's like talking about so close. Hold on. I can't remember the words on that, but that was definitely prior to Sun That Never Sets. But then, so the whole song is like really, it's definitely talking about how, for me anyway, my interpretation of it, especially the last 4 lines, was whether you believe in creation or evolution, either one, the point is, if you were to trace the bloodline of humanity itself all the way back to the beginning, it starts somewhere, right? It starts somewhere. And so some of the debates that people have on how did we get here sometimes are irrelevant to the fact that we are here. That we are here right now, and what are we going to fucking do with this day? What are we going to do? Like me asking myself that today, even. Like to keep my mind out of thinking about Thursday when I have to talk to the doctor and set up the colonoscopy, or trying not to think about what the results might be. Do I have, said tumors or cancer or something? None of that matters right now, because this is the only day there is, the only day that there'll ever be, and that's the day you're in. So I'm starting to really become more, just I'm accepting more wholeheartedly, I guess, the whole sage of the eternal moment part of who I am. You can see there, like I can feel communication right now. I can feel a stillness that I haven't felt in a long time. Yeah, I need to share, what's interesting about A Sun That Never Sets is they also did a DVD back in the day that was like a video. It was the whole album, but interpreted visually. And so that was definitely good. You, to me, you see that, like on that album, you start seeing their Pink Floyd influences a little more. It's like the darker side of Pink Floyd's. Well, Pink Floyd was always kind of in a melancholy kind of way, but explorative into the certain regions of thought. But that's what but I definitely highly recommend A Sun That Never Sets. And I always like that first line: a sun that never sets burns on. We only perceive it to set in a day and night setting. Like in a 24-hour period, we only perceive it to set when it's really just always burning bright. Perception has a lot to do with how reality comes about and how we relate to it. I'm glad that I went live for a minute, like I'm glad that you guys have caught it. Let's see. But yeah, so you can, like, I definitely think, like for me, like I said, I think sometimes we spend time trying to debate certain things and we waste energy when we could be more in tune with the moment and not so concerned about, like, it's nice to think about how did we come to this point in history. How did we get here? How was it created? But at the same time, what's more important, to grab the day and try to make the best out of what is given to us in a day's time, in a moment's time, in a minute's time. Like this moment right here, me just doing a stream on this gravel road. Speaking of which, hey, thank you, Falgoni. We've already met somewhere at some point, but we knew each other before we got here. I say that, I haven't said that to anyone in a long time. It's good to be reacquainted in this world. So I think you understand what I mean there. Because, like, I don't talk about it a lot, but I have shared it a little bit. I thought I was insane at one point because I had glimpses of just knowing before I was here. And whether anybody believes me or not, I've met enough people that have the same experience, and we've encountered each other and even knew that we had discussions on the other side about when we would meet up here. It's nice for me to be starting to come back to full circle of exactly what Gray Cloud represents and is supposed to be. Anyway, I'm going to turn this around. You have a good night, Falgoni. I'm going to turn this around, show some more scenery for a minute. Hey, beep, boo, ba, 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 beep, beady, beady, boo, ba, 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 ba. Oh, Chewy, you old dumbass. Chasing shit. Getting my dog all of them. Yeah. So I guess I will start heading back towards in the direction of the trailer, because I will go. I've got something that I made last night that I didn't fully eat everything, and I'm gonna go eat some of that. I've got my water to wash some dishes today, so that's a chore that I will try to tackle. And yeah, man, I appreciate anybody that was here. Yeah, okay, you do understand. Well, like some people remember more than others. And, you know, I'm not here to try to force anybody to like, unless someone has had that the similar experience and learning that they can sense being before being, like in this physical realm. A conversation that I had even with my own mother, and coming to terms that me and her had known each other also. Matter of fact, the part of my consciousness, or the consciousness that is part of the whole overall consciousness had, inquired to her about being mother here on earth. And she said I'd be glad to. So that was a good one too. So guys, I'm going to get out of here because I'm going to head back, put my headphones back on, play a little music. See, there's Pokeberry. There's some more. Yeah, so it's been a good, fun, short live, and I appreciate all of you guys. I like to call us the Fellowship of the Clouds. Not just those clouds, but the clouds that come in different forms when certain beings are presenting themselves. Okay, over and out. Ditto, guys.